Okay, we're all set.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the Wareham Conservation Commission meeting of Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. We currently have, if you're not, thank you for muting. Our members, we have Kwame, Ron, Michael, Denise, Carol, Sandy, Agent Dave Pichette, and Lisa is not available for this meeting. If it's all right with everybody, we'll carry the minutes off until after we've done with the hearings so that people don't waste their time listening to our minute discussion when we can have hearings. All right, Ron is going to read the minutes, the hearings, sorry, I'll get it right. Hearings, please.
All right, here we go. Number one. Pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. on the request for determination of applicability for Vicky Piacentini, 204 Glen Charlie Road, East Wareham, Mass. 02538. To construct a deck located on Assessor's Map 129B-4, Lot 24, 204 Glen Charlie Road, Wareham, Massachusetts. The meeting will be held remotely. Login information for the meeting will appear on the agenda posted on the Wareham Conservation Commission page of the Town of Wareham website.
Thank you. And who's here to represent this project? Please identify yourself.
Piacentini. Yep, Vicky Piacentini.
We're hearing this to see if somebody's there to represent Barrett.
Thank you. Paul, can you mute yourself unless you're part of this conversation? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Pichette will read the project.
Okay, so this project site is at 204 Glen Charlie Road, and this project involves the construction of a deck in the buffer zone to Glen Charlie Pond. A 12 by 30 foot deck is proposed, approximately 50 feet from the edge of the pond. The deck would be supported on sonotube footings. There's no grade changes proposed, and all the work is going to be done by hand for this project. So I would recommend the approval of the project with the issuance of a negative determination number 3.
Thank you. Vicky, is there anything you'd like to add?
Nope. I think it's all there.
All right, then I will ask the members, Kwame, questions?
No questions, thank you.
Ron,
No questions, thank you.
Michael,
No questions, thank you.
Denise,
Is the large German Shepherd friendly?
Yes, yes. Dodge. Did you get a chance to meet him?
Well, I pulled up and he stood up and I opened my car door and he didn't wag his tail. So I got back in my car.
Oh, no. He's very friendly. I try to keep him in most of the time because I knew you're going to come by, but he's very, very friendly.
All right. Well, I wasn't quite sure. If he would have wagged his tail, I would have taken a chance.
Well, he was probably like, oh, someone's coming to let me pat them.
No questions.
All right.
Carol,
No questions, except can I come see the German Shepherd too?
Yes, you can anytime.
That's my favorite breed.
We're down the canal every day.
Oh, there you go.
thank you. I have no questions. Is there anybody online that would like to comment on this project? Please identify yourself. Dave, do you see anybody?
Sorry.
I do not.
All
Motion to
right,
close the hearing.
I have a motion to close the hearing.
Second,
I have a second. All in favor, Kwame,
Aye.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy. Yes, the hearing is closed.
I make a motion to approve the project with a negative determination number 3.
Second,
That, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
aye.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael,
Got it.
Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy. Yes, the hearing is closed and we've issued a -3. And Vicky, don't start the work until you get your paperwork from Dave Pichette, okay?
Very good. Now, will that come through the mail or by email?
That would be through the mail.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay,
you.
thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Next, please.
Pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6, a public hearing will be held on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022, at 6:30 p.m. on the request for determination of applicability for 3 Kendrick Road LLC, care of GAF Engineering Incorporated, 266 Main Street, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02571. To construct a 6,000 square foot building addition, 2 loading docks, a storage freezer, and a new access drive to Thatcher Lane located on Assessors Map 108, Lot 1006C, 3 Kendrick Road, Wareham, Mass. The meeting will be held remotely. Login information for the meeting will appear on the agenda posted on the Wareham Conservation Commission page of the Town of Wareham website.
Thank you. Who is here to represent this project?
Bill Madden from GAF Engineering here on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Bichette.
This project site is in the industrial park, 3 Kendrick Road, and this application is being filed as part of the requirement of submitting a site plan review application, which requires the applicant to submit a determination or an order of conditions from the commission as part of the site plan review process. The proposed project involves the construction of an addition to a commercial building, a freezer addition, and the construction of a new parking area and access driveway to this site. The project is outside of any jurisdictional wetland resource areas and therefore does not require any approval from the Conservation Commission. So I would recommend the issuance of a negative determination number 1 and number 6 for this application.
Bill, anything to add?
No, I don't have anything to add. That's well said by Dave.
Can't be any simpler, can it? Okay.
Pretty
questions-
straightforward one this time.
Questions on the board, Kwame?
Am I allowed to ask who the business is?
Yeah, it's for a fella who makes crumpets. So it's yeah, Shrock Bakery, I think, is the company that makes the crumpets. So
Perfect. Put me
yes,
in line.
yeah, it's a good good project for the town.
Excellent. Thank you.
Ron?
Actually, I think that company's out of New Bedford, aren't they?
That's where they're manufacturing currently, and you know, this will be their new headquarters soon.
So is this going to be a new facility for them and or an expansion from where they're manufacturing now?
No, it's going to be new for them,
Okay,
and I think they'll relocate from New Bedford here.
not a bad move. No, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't see any issues with it, so I'm good.
Michael?
None here. Looks like we're gonna bring some nice new aromas to the town. Perfect. Go ahead.
Denise?
Pleasant ones, by the way. Pleasant ones.
No questions. No
Denise.
questions. No questions.
Carol?
No questions. It'll go good.
My only comment, it makes a great product. I've had them and I have them. So I'm looking forward to getting them fresh. Okay, is there anybody in the online that would like to comment on this project?
Motion to close the
Steve?
hearing.
I have a motion
Second.
and a
Second.
second. All in favor, Kwame, Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol, Sandy, the
Yes.
hearing is closed.
Move to accept the project with a -1 and a -6.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
Aye.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol, Sandy. Next, please. Oh,
All right, here we go. Number 3. Pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6, a public hearing will be held on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. on the amended order of conditions for Kevin Connors, care of GAF Engineering Incorporated, 266 Main Street, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02571. To request a plan change to elevate a dwelling and construct a new foundation located on Assessors Map 20, lots L3 and L4, 13 Salt Creek Road, Wareham, Massachusetts. The meeting will be held remotely. Login information for the meeting will appear on the agenda posted on the Wareham Conservation Commission page of the Town of Wareham website.
Thank you. Who's representing this project?
Bill Madden on behalf of Kevin Connors.
What'd you do? Draw the short straw tonight?
You kind of.
No, he loves us.
Mr. Bichette, your turn.
Okay, so again, this site is at 13 Salt Creek Lane, and this request is to to amend an order of conditions to include a plan change to allow the construction of a new foundation under the existing dwelling and to allow the construction of a deck with landing and stairs in the buffer zone to the coastal bank and within the coastal flood zone. This application is in response to a violation that occurred at the property that involved the complete reconstruction of the house, which is beyond what had been originally approved at the site. The commission had issued an order of conditions for the construction of a second floor addition on the existing dwelling, but work was, as I said, done beyond that. As a result of the work that was done, the applicant has been required to elevate this dwelling to meet the building code for the flood zone that they're in. The revised plan shows the proposed foundation to be constructed at the site, as well as the construction of a 6 by 30-foot deck on the water side of the house. The house would have to be elevated, and then the new pile supports would be installed under the house, and then the dwelling would be set back down. The house would be on stilts, as it is in a coastal velocity flood zone VE elevation 17.
Wow.
12 pier supports would be installed to support the dwelling. The existing foundation would be excavated and removed from the site. This violation, when it occurred, the applicant was fined for the unpermitted activity, and that fine has been paid. At this point, I would recommend the approval of the proposed plan change to allow the new foundation to be constructed so that the house can come into compliance with the building code. With the standard conditions and the added condition that the existing material to be removed gets removed from the site and disposed of in accordance with all applicable disposal laws.
I'm writing as fast as I can.
Me too.
Thank you, Mr. Madden. Anything to add?
I don't have anything to add, but if any one of you have any questions about the history and why things ended up the way they did out there, I'd be happy to answer those up for you. That's, and I guess I'll just leave it at that. I have a pretty good understanding of everything that took place there from the beginning to now.
How long ago did he make the unauthorized second floor?
Has to be around, I would say around 6 months or so. Really, I think that we always had a second floor going on the building, but what ended up happening, just to summarize quickly, is that when they were tearing down the old house, they found some deteriorated sections of the exterior wall. When the contractor asked the owner, he recommended you take them out and just do it over again because they were rotted, and he just said, yeah, go ahead and do it. So that resulted in the entire structure being removed off the foundation and disposed of. So he thought he was doing something good, but what that actually did is it turned this less than a 50% renovation into a new construction. Consequently, we have to meet FEMA requirements.
Meet the new laws, yes, with something something over 50% renovation, you have to meet the new laws. If he had just done 45%, it wouldn't have been the problem.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
little, it was a little different on this one because when he took it, we had the numbers, we had the appraisal, we had the construction cost. But when you take it down to the foundation, that's considered new construction.
Okay.
So we don't play by the 50% rule. At that point, we have to go right into full compliance mode. So that's where we
Wow.
are now. Yeah.
Okay, questions, Kwame,
No, other than it's gonna be a big expense, but no questions.
Ron,
Talk about opening up a can of worms. You never know what you're gonna get when you start to peel back the layers of the onion. I feel bad because it turns into an expensive project, but I'm glad that the owners have gone about correcting the issues and complying with everything that we've asked of. So I appreciate that. So that's all I have to say.
Michael,
No questions. Thank you.
Denise,
Not that it's in our purview, but once they raise that thing 17 feet in the air, isn't it going to be too tall?
I think there's a hearing scheduled with the zoning board to discuss the height and, a step back issue with the stairs at the front of the building at Salt Creek Road. So I don't know when that's, I think it's next Wednesday. I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
On
that's a
that.
thing. No more questions. Thank you.
Carol,
No questions. I remember this project.
Sandy, I have nothing other than I hope they put in an elevator. Is there anybody 17 feet with a bag of groceries? Okay, and is there anybody online that would like to comment on this project?
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close the hearing. Kwame,
Aye.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy, yes, hearing is closed.
So Dave, we're just gonna approve this with the prior conditions. There was nothing added to it.
Removing the
added
material.
condition-
Or removing the
Yeah.
material from the site.
Right.
All right, so I make a motion to approve the project for the amended order of conditions with the added condition of removing all of the material off-site.
That be the motion.
Second.
I heard a second, all in favor, Kwame,
Aye.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy, yes. And I can't believe this. We have approved all three of our public hearings. No continuances, yay. Now,
They've all
for
been easy,
continu-
simple
for
ones.
continued hearings, we've been notified that Stephen King, David Andre, and Georgian Carey Barrett have asked for a continuance, and we'll put their dates in as we come to them on the agenda. If there's anybody here for those three, we are going to be continuing.
Did I see
We also
person-
got a
continuance
continuance.
for the town of Wareham?
Yeah, we got
Heinz-
one for the town of Wareham as well, late in the day.
Oh. Did it come in?
Yeah, I saw
Yes.
I saw the
Yes,
email around
yeah.
4:30.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
what, Hyde Park, right?
Yes.
Heinz Field.
Field.
Sorry, I didn't see it. Heinz Field and 13 Shell Lane has also asked for a continuance.
13 shall.
Yeah.
No, we did
Melba?
not.
No, that one
No.
didn't get a request.
Oh, okay, never mind. I will stop reading my mail. All right. The town of Wareham has asked for a continuance until when?
The next meeting, which is the 16th of March.
I have a request for continuance until 3/16.
Move
I need a
with,
motion
Oh, move
Motion to continue to the 16th.
16.
Second.
and a second. I have a motion and a second. Carol,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Kwame, Sandy. Continued until the 16th. The next hearing is RESI Robinwood Road. Is there anybody here representing that project?
It's Bob Rogers with GAF Engineering on behalf of Resi LLC.
Thank you. We're close to this, aren't we?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. What were we waiting for?
So we continued the last public hearing with conservation because we had an upcoming planning board hearing, which was
The name of the road, right?
correct. So the planning board approved this subdivision this past Monday night, the 28th. And so
Okay.
the only change to the plan set was the street name and a reference to a covenant. And there was a reference to the width of pavement. And we updated some of the plan sheets per your request to show a 50-foot no activity zone from the
Thank you.
resource areas.
Okay, Mr. Bichette, will you do your reading, please?
Sure. Yeah, so again, this site is at 3642 and 48 Robinwood Road. And this project involves the construction of a subdivision roadway within a coastal flood zone. 650-foot subdivision roadway with associated stormwater structures and utilities is proposed within flood zone AE elevation 16 and VE elevation 18. The proposed roadway would have stormwater swales built along the roadway to handle runoff from the new road. And as we heard, this hearing was continued at the request of the applicant because they still had to go before planning and also to address the plan changes that the commission wanted to see in terms of the 50-foot no activity zone on the lots. The town's consulting engineer did review this project and had stated that the proposed stormwater structures do meet the stormwater standards. We did get a DEP file number for this project. And so I would recommend the issuance of the order of conditions with the standard conditions and added conditions that we get acknowledgement that this is going to be allowed to be tied to town sewer, which I think we already have seen. And that the project stormwater structures be maintained in accordance with the long-term operation and maintenance plan submitted as part of the stormwater report for this project.
And to clarify, that stormwater report was from December 2nd, 2021 from GAF Engineering. It dealt with drainage, it dealt with maintenance, and it dealt with construction, pollution, prevention, and erosion control, correct? So I
That's
want to
correct.
make sure that those components of that letter are, that report are part of our standard conditions.
I would also point out that they are, most of those are also listed on the plans.
Yep. So for the for the minutes, I think for the conditions, just say refer to GAF. GAF. What's the name of the plan, Bob?
It's Maritime Haven.
No, the name of the document on August. Sorry.
That's part of the stormwater report.
So
Okay,
that-
this GAF stormwater report of August 25, 2021.
I would not reference that one. That
Oh.
was that came in with the original submission. You should have a later
Oh, I'm
date.
sorry, December 2nd.
Yes,
The
thank you.
12/2/21 stormwater report from GAF.
That's right. Yep.
All right. So that's these, okay. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this project?
Move to close.
We do
Hey,
have
Jocelyn.
someone that wants to speak.
Okay,
Go ahead, Marlene.
please identify yourself.
Can you hear me? No.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, you can? Okay, good. My name is Marlene Aaron. I live at 32 Robinwood Road, and I'm the north, I think, abutter along the entire side of this project. First, I want to thank Chair Slavin because you were the one that brought to the attention of the architect, engineer, and planning board that this is a commercial subdivision. If you hadn't even brought that up, then they wouldn't have even been looking at that 50-foot setback because nobody else figured that out. So here's my question. For me, I think of conservation as a body that would protect the wildlife, the mature trees, and also the right to quiet enjoyment of the abutters, not just me, everybody who lives there. So the question is, can you do anything, to stop developers coming in and stripping all the mature trees, killing wildlife, and help the abutters not have to look at 35-foot height homes, something that would screen or make them leave. If you look, you see like on the top, all those like squiggles, those are the trees. From what I understand, everything is going. So,
Well, Marley, I'm going to interrupt you.
go
We're
ahead.
only here to talk about the roadway. When we have each one of these dwellings, building sites will have to come for us individually, in which we will address the issues that you're concerned about.
So it comes back to conservation before any building permits?
Each home, one at a time, will need a notice of intent before us for anything that's within our purview. So
Which
anything along the
means the
wetland,
entire lot.
so along the wetland, along the seawall, all that will be in front of us when we can talk about it one at a time. We're only here to talk about the roadway.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Nothing?
Close the hearing.
Yes, please.
Second.
I have a motion to close the hearing.
Second,
I have a second. Kwame,
Aye.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael,
Yeah.
Denise,
yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy. Yes, the hearing is closed.
Somebody
Someone
want-
wants to take a shot at the standard order of conditions?
Make a motion to approve the project with the standard order of conditions.
Plus,
Acknowledgement that it's tied into the
Oh,
source
acknowledge that it's tied to the town water and sewer.
and the
And
GAF
for the
stormwater
maintenance of the
report.
stormwater structures.
which is covered in the stormwater
Water-
12/2/21 report from
Water.
GAF. Okay, that's it?
Got it? Second,
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
Aye.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
yes.
Carol, Sandy, done. So we have a new road. What's it called again, Bob? What's the name of the
Maritime,
road?
excuse me, Haven Court.
Haven
Haven
Court.
Court.
Okay. The next continued hearing is Paula
You-
and
did-
Andre.
Okay. I thought you voted to close the public hearing. Did you do both? You voted to
Yes.
approve as well?
Correct.
Yes, and we gave you a standard of conditions with the report and tie to sewer, and you're done.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Sandy, the next item was inadvertently put on the agenda. That's something we closed at the last meeting, so that's not supposed to be on there.
Okay, is anybody okay, I knew that. Now that I'm looking at it, Denise brought it to my attention too, so we closed it prior. I just wanted to make it a formal record that it had been closed at the prior meeting of late February, whenever it was. Okay, the next one is
13 Shell Lane.
yeah, Horatio and Cynthia Mello. 13 Shell Lane. Is there anybody here for this project?
I'm Bill Madden from GAF on behalf of the Mellows.
Thank you. Mr. Pichette, will you read the project, please?
Sure, I'm just getting this plan pulled up here.
Did we get the DEP?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All set?
Yeah. Oh, maybe we were waiting for the DM. Never mind. Why did we continue this?
Well, for a few reasons. We didn't have comments from Division of Marine Fisheries,
Oh,
Natural
that's it.
Heritage, or the DEP
Okay.
number.
All right, sorry. Okay, off you go. This one, please.
Okay, so again, the site is at 13 Shell Lane, and the project involves the construction of an extension onto an existing pier and the construction of a boat lift in land under the ocean within land containing shellfish and within a coastal flood zone. Part of the work is also within the estimated habitat of rare and endangered species. A 75-foot pier extension is proposed onto the end of the existing pier, making it a 191-foot long structure from mean high water instead of its current length of 116 feet. 10 new 12-inch pilings are proposed for the fixed elevated pier extension, and additional pilings for the new proposed float location and for the proposed boat lift. Pilings are proposed to be driven from a floating barge. The other issue that had been brought up was that a marker was to be placed out in the water, which had been done as well. We did receive comments from Natural Heritage, and they did not have any comments about the project. We did get comments from Mass Division of Marine Fisheries, and they did make comments similar to what they've made on piers in the neighborhood there that have been in front of us recently. One of which is that this project would, even with best management practices, result in the permanent impact to shellfish habitat and associated fisheries access. So we also did get the DEP file number as well for this project. So, but at this stage, I would recommend, similar to what I've recommended on these other projects, that this not be approved based on the comments from Mass Division of Marine Fisheries relative to impacts to shellfish habitat and also to the cumulative impact to the recreational value of the area. So that would be my comments on this one.
Thank you. Bill?
Yeah, I prepared a couple pieces of paper. I sent them over quite late this afternoon. I don't really expect the commission to have had an opportunity to read those and digest what we were saying. But I think I have to take a little bit of exception with the letter from Division of Marine Fisheries and how it relates to the way the bylaw is written in what it states in there. You know, I see where it says it's significant to the interests of the Wetlands Protection Act, but I didn't see any place in their letter where they called it significant shellfish, a significant shellfish growing area. I believe that's the way your bylaw reads. It points directly to those words, and clearly they're different. I think further, if you were to digest the letter from Division of Marine Fisheries, there are, you know, we have a situation there where there's a couple of floats that that right now don't provide the proper clearance from the bottom. And to me, in the interpretation of that letter, they were hopeful. They're hopeful that we're able to move those the way we're shown out and free up that 320 square feet that's directly impacted by those floats. Granted, we have 19 or so floats, 17 square feet of piles that are going to be driven. But when we make a comparison to the 320 feet that's cleared up and the improvement on the habitat, the shellfish habitat, you know, clearly there's a gain of over 300 square feet of area that will become useful, productive shellfish growing area. So I think that, you know, those letters, I read the letters from all the other projects that were denied, and this one is clearly different than those. And, you know, I even did a little more digging, and I think that if you look up the Zeco project that was done in town. I think it was 1995 or so. I think that if you look at, let's see, Robert Aaron and John Sylvester, there was a dock on Sias Point that was in significant shellfish habitat. And there's another one, the Pelletiers, I think on Sias Point somewhere, that was directly in significant shellfish habitat. All three of those projects were adjudicated and allowed by DEP, and they both prevailed under the local bylaw when that was taken up. So, I looked into that before we took on this work. And, to me, I think the Division of Marine Fisheries letter is telling in a lot of respects. I mean, and I don't see them calling it significant shellfish habitat. I don't read those words in that form the way they're written in the bylaw. And consequently, I don't see how we can make that determination that it is significant habitat. It certainly is habitat that's not disputed. I think it's improved by this expansion project. We're able to get out into deeper water. It's more suitable for the boat. It's more suitable to access it to the floats than it is on the two floats that are in their current position. The boat lift, there will not be a boat tied up to that float. That's the purpose of the boat lift. We want to keep the boat out of the water and use the floats for access points for the pickup of your passengers and customers. If you have any familiarity with the float, with an electric lift, they're kind of tricky. This one does not have walkways all the way around it. You need to step off of a fixed pier or a bulkhead to step into a boat before you lower it down into the water and then move your boat to pick up your gear, your passengers, things of that nature from the float. So it's a little bit of a different operating procedure than what you normally see. But when it comes down to it, I mean, I'm thinking the shellfish is one of the key points that those other three projects that I mentioned, they hit on that shellfish. And as far as the cumulative impacts goes, I would like someone to point out to me how you define a cumulative impact. I think that, I'm almost seeing it, at least it's an interpretation that I'm making, and don't take it the wrong way, but I'm seeing these things as, an unacceptable, significant, or cumulative impact. I mean, that's basically, I think it's being interpreted as that any impact is not allowed. And it almost appears as that there's a zero tolerance for any cumulative or significant unacceptable impact on a project. And, I don't believe that's the intent of the bylaw, to go to a zero tolerance. I think they want to minimize things that go on. I mean, we look at that area, I talked about this last meeting, that's 38 acres inside that embayment that's there. This project represents like 0.03% of that area. Clearly that can't even, it's probably closer to de minimis impact than cumulative significant impact. So, I think that when you look at it and you see what it is, you have 3,700 feet of shoreline between out there by Frank O'Brien's house, going all the way back over to the Cherubini house on over Jordan Road. I mean, that's 3/4 of a mile. There's 28 house lots or 28 lots on that area. In that area, and the people who own waterfront lots, they're one of the few people that have the ability to be able to construct a lot. I mean, you have to have waterfront access to build a dock on a lot. I mean, it's a riparian right that's given only to those property owners that own property that front on the water. So, I don't see, in my view, where a significant, if everything was built out, I suppose you could consider it somewhat significant, but I mean, an expansion to a project that has overall positive benefit. And it's not long-term, it's not forever. I mean, the turbidity that's associated with pile driving, that's temporary action. And I think if you go back and you look at those three other projects that I mentioned at the beginning, you'll read how those were adjudicated in what the official position is on those types of things. So anyway, that's where we're coming from on it. We think with the removal of those floats, putting them out in deeper water, setting them up on float stops. We have no interference with the bottom at all at the new location, where right now maybe we have a little, but we're eliminating something. We're making it better. And if we look at the positives of it, I don't see it as it's really a cumulative significant impact in that area. So that's what I have, and I wrote something shipped it off late this afternoon, as well as a narrative that highlights other things pursuant to Chapter 91, like lines of sight and access, and the ability of others to pass and repass in the water, things along those lines, all things that are required by Chapter 91 in the Army Corps of Engineers. So, we have a project that I believe has been properly designed, properly cited, and it's an extension of an existing pier that has a positive benefit. So,
Okay.
With that,
Thank
I'll
you.
be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your comments. I'm going to ask the board. Kwame, questions?
Yeah, so right now, currently you have, how many floats are currently, Bill, on this?
There's two.
Yeah, and then there are gonna be how many left when this is all said and done?
Two.
So two, it's still gonna remain two.
Yeah, well, the two that were existing, they exceeded the 300 feet, so that they're going to be trimmed down to 300 square feet. And these floats, the new floats, will be on float stops to prevent any action of the float stops in the water, creating any turbidity or turbulence on the bottom.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron?
I have no questions other than, we've talked about it already, so I'm good.
Michael?
Same here as Ron. I think I got enough questions. Although, yeah, I think I'm good at this point. Although, one thing on the graph though, I'm looking here. What's that in the middle? It says right in the middle. It says where there's like two with like 15 pieces, sorry, feet rather apart. Are those going to be more pilings, or are those like spaces for the boats? What does that mean?
No, those are that's the distance between the piles, the bents. The two of them together are called bents, and that's the distance between each set of piles is 15 feet.
Okay, so they're going to be distance. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, the reason why they're 15s is because you're using like 16 or 20 foot lumber, and I would like to have as many solid long pieces as we can, and that's what we use. That's what we use there in this instance.
So I didn't know if they were. I didn't know whether they were going to be for pilings or there were plans for both of them. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Denise, your turn.
Okay. Conservation needs to be consistent in its rulings. Sure, and I know you're aware of all the numerous docks that have come before us in this area and on this body of water, and they have been denied because historically this is small area of shoreline is active recreational use by the surrounding neighborhood and is open to both commercial and recreational shell fishing. The commission needs to keep an eye on the health and the well-being of the community and the environment as a whole. The recreational value of this area is important. This is one of the 4 docks that have been grandfathered in, and then there's the 5th one that can be rebuilt also because it's been grandfathered in. The Wareham bylaws in regard to this subject matter are that we need to control the activities that are deemed by conservation likely to have a significant or cumulative effect on the resource area values. You know, there's a long list: aesthetics, aquaculture, recreational values deemed important to the community. So based on what we have done in the past in this area, and that this is entering into that same body of water and stretching out into the area that we really don't want any more activity in. But in addition to denying the project on those bases, I think that concern with the float and it's staying on the bottom, from what I understand, it sits on the bottom, then maybe the float needs to be removed permanently. It's just the comments that I have on it.
Carol,
Well, I have a question about the mention of endangered species. Has anybody verified that there is rare and endangered species in that area?
Well, it's mapped as such, and that's why they're required to get comments. The project's required to be reviewed by the Natural Heritage Program, and they provide comments as to whether they think there's going to be an impact on endangered species habitat from the project, which in this case, they said they don't think that that's going to happen. So that was their comment. They did not have any adverse comments on this project.
Okay, thank you. That's all from me.
okay, I have a couple. Do we have anything from Buckminster?
I haven't
Let's get
received
it.
anything from him.
So the town's natural heritage national, sorry, the town's
Harbor.
shellfish, whatever I can't forget how many titles he has. We've got nothing from Gary Buckminster regarding this project. And normally we have something, normally, don't we, Dave?
Typically on the other projects, he really didn't have, his comments
Yeah,
for
but
the
that's-
project didn't impact navigation.
Okay, but that's other projects. I was wondering if he never commented on this one. Can we ask for a comment on this one?
Oh, we certainly can, yes.
Yes, please. And this is a 75-foot extension out into deeper water, which means where the docks are now, it's shading over very shallow land to the point that at low tide, those floats are sitting on the bottom. Is that correct, Bill?
I think they're very close to it. I don't know precisely if they're on the bottom, but they're very close to it. if
They're
not
damn
on it.
close. You could say it.
Yeah.
They're damn close.
Okay, they're very close.
I mean, so if this project is denied, can we ask that they put float stops on those floats, on float stops? On those,
The
Floats?
current, we can certainly ask, but the current structure, Bill can correct me if I'm wrong, is licensed as it is. So I
Okay.
don't think they're obligated to put those there, but the commission, I guess in a sense, since this has been submitted as an application, could issue an order, and that could be a condition.
now, this is an existing dock and they're asking it to go out 75 feet. It's not a brand new dock. It already exists. In listening to Mr. Madden, he's made some very good points that by taking the floats out into deeper water, we really have improved the shellfish propagation possibilities under where the existing floats lie, because they'll now have some sunlight and won't be disturbed by boats coming in and out.
Andy, it's still
I'm-
going out into that area.
Yes, it is, but it is an existing dock. I am really thinking I really want to reconsider taking a look at the documents that came in today and asking for Mr. Buckminster's field report on this. I'd like to continue this until March 16, because
Sandy, I
I'm
think
not
we
right
need-
now, I'm not thinking about denying, but that's what I'm talking about, and I want to see what came in late this afternoon. Okay, is there anybody want to comment on this online? Is there anybody want to comment? Hearing none, can I get a continuance until March 16th?
Can I-
Somebody here.
Bill's got a question.
Yes, Bill.
I just, you know, I don't think that, it's probably not my place to say this, I'm gonna say it anyway. I understand entirely about being consistent with things. But if we receive the identical documentation from the state agencies and we had identical projects and we came up with identical results, I can see the consistency being in place for that. But each project really needs to be taken on its own merits. And
I understand that.
Well, Denise, let him finish.
In many instances, there are a few things that make things better and that really maybe raise one project above another for whatever reason. I think in this case, we've been able to prove that out, that there are some positives that come out of it. One of the other, we would really like to have the boat lift in there. Can we use and modify existing floats and get our boat lift in there in their current location, not extend it out? That might be an option. I think that, we should be thinking as opposed to just like straight denials, how about some conditions and some reasons why the project can be advanced? I think that's one of the first and foremost things that is really looked into when projects get kicked down the road for other reasons, as to what other discussions took place between the commission and the applicant, and what conditions may be imposed on the project to allow it to go forward. Like I said, the zero tolerance and having dissimilar materials that we're making these judgments from, I just don't think that's just my way of thinking. I just don't think that's the proper way of doing it. But I certainly leave all that decision making up to the commission. You're entitled to do whatever you feel is best for the town in what have you. And I don't disagree with that. I just think that each project needs to be looked at for its own individual merits, and if it has long-term benefit to the community as a whole, or to the shell fishermen, the recreational, commercial guys, whoever it might be. I just think it needs to be really weighed out and make a determination as to whether or not it is truly an unacceptable project due to the impacts of it.
Okay,
That's
Denise.
just
I
Thank you.
understand that we need to look at each project individually, but we have to look at the projects cumulatively that are coming into this area. And if you allow one to do something that you're not allowing another to do in the same area, it's inconsistent, would be inconsistent on our part.
But they're it's all for different reasons. And
Sorry,
excuse me for that.
we
Sorry.
have already permitted one dock down by over Jordan, which goes out into this area because it was replacing one that existed. This is requesting one to be extended. But here's, Mr. Madden, question for you. Right now, there's two floats, right?
Yes.
If we are to remove one float and make the existing float wider, so there could be areas to walk around when the ramp is down at high tide, is that possible?
It's worth looking into, sure.
So, because right now, one of the floats really just takes the ramp up and down as tide goes up and down, correct?
For the most part.
Yeah, so if we make it wider so you can walk around when the ramp is taking up most of the float, that's a possibility.
Can they keep it short and not extend it all the way out and do something with it?
What do you mean short? Not
Well,
this,
the length that it is now. Why does it?
Yeah,
have
I
to-
mean, I think that's
Um,
what, that was one of the suggestions that I was talking about when we were,
Yeah,
when we just
um,
had that brief discussion on floats.
Dave, will you put the plans up again one more time? So if I'm looking at that, the tanned area, you can see the outline where the existing floats are. That
Yes.
would be, those would be removed and pushed out into a deeper water. Now, that relocate the ramp rolls back and forth on the inner float as the tide changes, and the outer float is always accessible to a boat. But if that outer float is removed and the inner float is widened, so you can walk around the ramp as it moves with the tide,
Is this keeping the ramp short as it is now?
the ramp has to stay that height because of the tide up and down. You make that shorter, any shorter, you're gonna be impossible to walk up and down that ramp.
The existing dock that's there now is what on this thing?
This is
That's
where
the
the
outlined,
floats are right here.
that's where the
That's the
floats are.
existing dock.
And there's a dotted line in the shaded area that shows where the end of the ramp is. And then right
What
there
we've
where
been
Dave
trying to do
was.
as a commission is keep those docks and things out of the recreational area. Pushing this all the way out 190 some feet is.
Well,
is
they're
negative.
only asking 70, it's already out. How far out is it now, Mr. Madden?
It looks to be
40,
From mean height.
16, 50? I'm trying to count
It's
the,
it's 116 currently.
and they want to make it
Right.
191.
191.
Correct.
It's pushing it out as far as we've been telling everybody else, we don't want them in that area.
Yeah,
It's a
but
recreational commercial.
none of the
area.
others have a dock.
Yes,
We're
but,
just,
right, so keep the dock short. Why do they have
But-
to?
then we're back to the point of having the dock short and damaging the land under the floats more.
to get rid
We're
of the
trying
floats?
to, what? Say
Can't
that
you get
again?
rid of- Get rid of the floats and just leave the dock?
Do you know how hard it is to go up and down and load a boat on high
That's-
tide or low
that's-
tide? It's virtually impossible. We were at Zecco's with fixed piers. That's a tough ask for anybody to go in and out of a boat when
Well,
the
then
boat
I guess
doesn't
I can be
rise.
happy. I just don't agree with going all the way out into the 190 feet if we've been denying everybody else that same thing.
We've been denying people new docks. This is not a new dock.
Well, it's a new extension to a dock, and as far as I'm
Yes, it
concerned,
is.
it's a new dock. It's a new, whole
Well-
new thing.
And
Push-
just
push-
to put it in perspective, as far as distance, it's about 1,000 feet from the shoreline over to Shell Point, from shoreline to
I was out-
shoreline.
I was
So
out
this-
there today. I looked at it today.
Pardon me?
I was out there today. I looked at this whole thing today, and
Yeah.
it's going into the same waters that we've been telling everybody else to stay out of.
Well, we certainly, we
So-
didn't stop the one on,
Well, that one's grandfathered in, and the cement pilings are already there.
yep,
There-
and they're going out beyond the cement pylons.
Well, I wasn't part of the commission when you guys approved.
Well,
them.
that one was the existing structure was that. That's why they
Yes.
were allowed to do that.
Right, they were grandfathered in to be able to do that. This is not being grandfathered in, allowed to do what they want to do.
I would like to continue to read the documents we have because I believe there is some merit to moving those floats further out into the deeper water from where they are now. They're doing damage. But we're continuing until, did I take a motion to continue or are we still talking?
You haven't done the motion yet.
Okay. Any other comments? Is there anybody on the line that would like to speak to this project?
I think Bill just put his hand up again. I don't know if you're allowed to. Go
Yep.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm all set. I'm all set. You know, I'm sure.
Oh, I thought you were banging the camera.
I was talking too much.
No
So,
problem.
so before we make a decision on whether we want to continue or not, I'm all for, I mean, I understand all of the points that Bill has brought up, and I do believe that there's merit to at least take the time to, read whatever's been sent over, because it was sent over so late in the day, and at least give the opportunity to hear all the facts, whether good, bad, or indifferent, to understand it. I mean, I know we want to, we don't want to keep continuing projects and building our list to being long every meeting, but I agree that there's some valid points, and I think we should at least give the applicants and Bill the respect to at least look them over. Not to say that it would make it a yes, no, or maybe, but at least doing our service to them and the community to at least understand what they might be trying to say in those letters that were sent over. So I would be in an agreement to a continuance, just based on the fact of being able to read what was sent over, and not just dismiss it.
Is that your motion?
Yes.
I have a and a second. I have a motion to continue until March 16th and a second. All in favor, Kwame, Ron,
Yes.
Michael,
Yeah.
Denise,
No,
Carol,
I think, yeah, Carol nodded yes.
Yes,
Sandy, yes. 5-0, 5-1-0 to continue. So we are going to continue until March 16th. So we have some documentation to read. And Bill, will you take a look at what could be done to reduce the length of the pier being requested?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
we'll have a new plan at the next hearing.
We'll have something to look at. Sure.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks very much. Much appreciate your time.
Next one. Point Independence Yacht Club. Is there somebody here for that project?
Yes, Madam Chair, Bob Rogers with GAF, representing Point Independence Yacht Club.
Thank you.
Let me just
Dave?
bring this plan up here.
And we did get the Mass Fisheries and Wildlife, Division of Fisheries and Wildlife came in. We got that document.
That came in, as well as NHESP midday today.
Yep.
Do you want Dave to go first, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Dave always goes first, but he's going to put up I think he's trying to bring up the plan.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I got it right here now. Okay, here we go.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so this project is at the Point Independence Yacht Club, and this project involves improvements to the existing bulkhead along the parking lot, dredging and replacement of pilings within land under the ocean, land containing shellfish, and within the estimated habitat of rare and endangered species. A new sheet pile bulkhead is proposed to be installed in front of the existing steel bulkhead for its length of approximately 144 feet. This would be driven into place from the parking lot. Also proposed is to replace 28 pilings as shown on the site plan, and to reconstruct a section of what they call the G dock. It's also proposed to dredge. Initially, it was stated approximately 100 yards, but as Bob had talked about at the last meeting, it would be less than that number. But they do propose to dredge, and the dredge spoils would be placed in the dewatering area in the upper field on the property, which they've used previously for other dredge projects. At the last meeting, we did not have comments from Division of Marine Fisheries, which we have now since received. And they did, well, actually, we did have these comments. We just didn't have natural heritage. But DMF did recommend a time of year restriction from January 15th to May 31st for this project. There was also a comment they made about the new bulkhead being in the same location as the existing. I think at the last meeting, some comments were discussed about how that might not be feasible in this particular setting. So that's something the commission can consider. We do have a DEP file number, and we did also get the comments from Natural Heritage, which they did not have any negative comments on this project. So at this point, I would recommend the issuance of an order of conditions for this project with the time of year restriction stated by Mass Division of Marine Fisheries, and that any of the dredge materials be placed in the dewatering location and then removed from the site and disposed of in accordance with applicable laws. So that's what I have at this point.
One more time, what are the dates of
The time of
year
year, was-
restrictions? I forgot.
yeah, January 15th to May 31st.
No work.
That's no in-water work that might just create turbidity. That's right. So essentially, the whole project is going to be
Yep.
in that arena.
So they can't start until June 1st.
Correct.
Okay, Bob, anything to add?
No, just I think we had a good discussion of all the issues at the first public hearing. I'd certainly answer any questions, but I think the plan is to start to work, I believe, this fall after the boating season.
Okay. Questions on the board? Kwame?
No questions right now. Thank you.
Ron?
No questions.
Michael?
Not at the moment, thank you.
Denise?
Was this one of the projects that were going to affect the neighbors that they had come to talk about, or this was the project?
Madam Chair, so.
Yes, please.
No, that was a separate notice of intent project that was approved. That was for the regrading of the beach, which those neighbors immediately adjacent to the beach had a lot of concerns. I don't think we certainly notified all the abutters. I don't think we had any abutters with concerns at the last meeting.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't going to affect them again.
No, the dredging is within Dock A, so it's inside the docks of the marina. There's no houses next to any of this area being worked on.
No,
Only thing that's impacting is the parking lot.
Correct, which has been done a few times now, and I'm not aware of any complaints, but there's the limit of dredging line shown on the plan from existing -2.5 up to the new bulkhead wall. So that's
okay. Is there?
Correct, from there north to the bulkhead wall.
Okay. Carol, any questions?
No questions.
I have none. Is there anybody on the call that would like to comment on this project? Hearing and seeing none,
Move to close the hearing.
I have a
Second.
motion to close the hearing and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol, Sandy. The hearing is closed. Someone wants to take a crack at the order of conditions?
Move to accept the project with sticking with the DMF recommendations for the time of year, the new bulkhead to stay in the same place. Dredging materials to be dewatered and removed per applicable laws. Is that all of it?
Standard order of
Standard
conditions.
Standard order of conditions.
And I'd
Just-
like you to put,
Excuse-
sorry, Michael, can you, in your motion, can you put the dates in your motion?
January 15th through May
To do-
31st.
No work.
No,
No water work.
Sorry, Michael, what do you want? What is it, Michael?
It's Chris, the public
Yeah.
hearing is closed, but
Well,
I
it's
think
just
Chris-
the motion is I just want to
Madam.
correct something that was made in the motion because we had a great deal of discussion at the last meeting about whether or not we were going to move the wall out 24 inches.
correct, and that's what you're getting, Chris. That's what you're getting.
You're,
Perfect.
Chris, you're getting the plan as you presented to us with the conditions of a limit of when the work can be done and that the site, the dredge area is to be stored upland in the standard order of conditions. Correct?
What was with the bulkhead staying in the same place?
The bulk,
that.
that, we never said that. The
didn't
bulkhead
say
is
that.
what we have right now on the plan.
Okay,
It's
so
to
the
be
bulkhead,
extended it's to be extended 26 inches in order to shore up the face of that parking lot,
so the new bulkhead is per the plan.
per the plan.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Thank
Madam
you,
Chair.
Chris. So, okay, we have a motion for standard order conditions with a no work time frame of January 15th to May 31st. All dredging material is to be stored upland,
And to be
and
removed
eventually removed.
per
is
the
that it?
applicable laws.
That is the motion.
Second.
I have
Second,
a second. All in favor, Kwame,
yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy. You got your work all taken care of.
Thank you all very much. Thank you for
And
your
no-
patience.
Nothing after me, nothing until after the season is over with for you.
Correct.
Thank you. Chris,
Have a
all
good
right?
evening.
Okay, good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a continuance request for Stephen King. They want a continuance until April 6th.
That's the agri,
A motion to continue to, did you say April 6th?
That's what was on their email. Did I misread it?
No, that's correct.
No, I'm just verifying.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael,
yes.
Denise,
yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy, it's continued. The next hearing is David Andre. There's a request for continuance until April 16th. I thought we were close to finishing this one.
April 16th.
No,
Wednesday?
March
March
6th.
6th.
It's March 16th.
I'm gonna
March
say,
16th.
that's
I'm
only 2
sorry.
days from the 6th.
No. Until March 16th. That's the request for continuance.
Motion to continue to March 15th.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy. The next hearing is Barrett. They have a request for continuance until April 6th.
Motion to continue to April 6th.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol, Sandy. It's continued until April 6th. The next hearing is Wareham MA3. Is there anybody here for that project?
This is one that is still waiting for this hydrological study to be completed. So I would just recommend that we continue it further.
Do you want to go for the 16th? Do you want to go out another 2 weeks? Well, we'll continue it until March 16.
Happened.
Oh,
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame, Ron,
Yes.
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
yes.
Carol, Sandy, we're continuing until March 16th. The next hearing is Wareham PV 1. Anybody here for that project? It's been so
I
long, I
would say
forgot
the
what this one is.
Same thing for this one as well, till the 16th.
Okay,
Motion to continue to 3/16.
Second,
I have a motion to March 16th. All in favor, Kwame, Ron,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Denise, Carol, Sandy, it's continued. Okay. Time is it? Can it really be before 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
So it looks
Okay,
like,
now we're going down into our other businesses, and that's gonna take us some time. Okay. Dave, you want to talk about Surecran and their request for first right of refusal for the town?
Yes, hold on one second here. Yeah, so this is a request to take a piece of property out of Chapter 61A. And so part of that process requires the owner to have the Conservation Commission make a recommendation to the selectmen on this action. This is a small piece of land that's being requested to be removed. When this happens, the town gets the first right of refusal to purchase the property. In this particular case, I don't see that we would be interested in that because the small size of it and because it's sort of surrounded by cranberry bogs that are part of this commercial operation. So I would recommend that we don't try to acquire the property.
Anybody would like to comment on it? I know that CPC has indicated to the selectmen that they find no interest in the property, but I think planning said differently last night. But it's really landlocked behind other people, other owners. It's just a small little sliver. It's going to be a solar project for their own use. It's not a big commercial one. So anybody have any comments on this?
It's just a question, like, it's just it's a property that nobody wants. It's just a little slither, like you said, but it's gonna be a, like a little, like, well, it's not little, but the windmill thing, I mean, the
No.
turbine.
No,
Smaller?
solar.
Solar.
Oh,
It's
there's
less-
solar on the ground?
Yeah, and it's less than 2 acres.
Yeah, this piece of
I thought it
land
was,
this piece of land is owned by this cranberry grower, and it's a
Yeah.
part of his overall property. But he just wants to utilize this part of the property to build a small solar facility. But in order to do that, he has to remove it out of Chapter 61A. So it's his own property currently, but as part of doing this process, they do have to offer it to the town to purchase if the town so decides they would want to. But as I said, in this case, I don't see, at least for the Conservation Commission, how it's going to benefit us to have this little chunk in between all these cranberry bogs, you know?
right. Oh, I thought it was going to be a wind thing.
No.
No.
No, just a few panels, just to for his own use.
Yeah.
Really, it's less than 2 acres. No
Well,
tree clearing. It's
when you
already,
say-
yeah.
when you say a few panels, Sandy, what do you mean by a few panels?
Whatever goes on to 2 acres.
Well, that can be more than a few panels.
I've not
It's
seen the
gonna be like
plan.
400 panels.
No,
I mean,
No,
if you're
no.
covering 2
Yeah.
acres, you put a lot of panels on 2 acres, Sandy.
It could still be a fair amount of panels, but if it stays below a certain kilowattage, then
yeah.
it's not considered a commercial project, and it's
We-
only supposed to be for the use of the owner and his needs.
Yep. Okay. Anybody
Oh,
want to say, someone
so-
wants to
And-
make sorry,
And
what?
just one last comment. This is for the purpose of this Chapter 61A issue. The project still may need to come in front of us as a project. So That remains to be seen because we haven't seen a plan. We don't know how close things are going to be to wetlands. So potentially this may come in front of us as a project. So if it is within 100 feet of any wetlands, then we would have to review it, and we could look at those impact issues at that time.
So do we want to recommend to the town that they buy this land? Yes
No,
or no? I have,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna, yes
it's
or
not-
no? I'm gonna, Kwame, yes or no?
No,
Ron,
No,
Michael,
Uh,
Denise,
No,
Carol,
no,
Sandy, no. Mr. Bichette, will you write a letter to the selectmen that the Conservation Commission shows no interest in purchasing this property?
I will do that.
that's done.
just for a point of interest, Kwame, those turbines are not allowed in Wareham. I asked someone on the planning board today.
oh, really? Okay,
Okay,
I didn't know
now
that.
it's minute time. Yay for all of you who have done your minutes. I have to admit, I sat through every one of those meetings to review your minutes. Well done. What a pain in the ass it is.
Oh, my God.
I said no one could.
What
pay
did
me
he
the
say?
money to
Back
do
up a
that.
little. What did he say? Back up a little. Okay, now, I know that we have minutes for June 2nd, 2021. Any comments on this?
No, I move we accept those minutes.
second,
I have a
Yeah.
motion and accept it, a second to accept the minutes of June 2nd, 2021. Kwame,
Yes,
Ron,
yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes,
Carol,
Yes,
Sandy, yes. 600.
was my name was corrected on that, correct?
Yes, yeah, but it's not on the 15th, but we'll get there.
Okay. Well, no,
Okay,
there was also misspelled, I think, on 6-2.
On Rogers.
No, Schultz has no T.
Oh, yeah, I got yours corrected. Yeah,
Okay,
I
thank you.
could email Denise a different one.
No, it's
that's all
okay.
right. I will be making that change on here because I will be taking this into the office tomorrow for my signatures.
Right.
Okay, so no T in Schultz. Okay, okay. Now the next one we have is July 7/7/21. I did. Okay. Any comments on this one
No.
as presented? I'm hearing none.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
second,
second,
All in favor, Kwame,
yes,
Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy. 600. The next one we have is August 18, 21.
I think again, it was just my name,
I put a T in your name.
but there shouldn't be one.
Oh, there shouldn't be one.
No T.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't know what my husband's family did with it, but it's gone.
Okay, okay, I'll remember that, maybe.
Thank you.
oh,
right.
Denise, have me as
So-
a Baptist.
Okay, I had you as an entirely wrong last name, but that's okay.
Now, for this minutes, Carol and Kwame were not here for this meeting. Did either of you listen to the
Carol did.
Meeting.
because-
I wrote the minutes. I had to watch that meeting. I thought I was gonna die.
You need to fill out one of those forms though for Dave.
Yes, yes, I do.
Even though she wrote those minutes, she's got to fill out a form.
Gotta fill out a form.
Yeah, when you come in to sign documents, I'll have that for you.
I'm sure I have the dates of all the minutes the meetings I've missed. I'll make sure I see them all and completely melt my brain, and then I'm gonna be out for 2 more weeks.
okay,
We'll do
so
it.
is there any comments other than the spelling of Denise's last name on these minutes? I did take the liberty of doing some editing of spacing.
Yes, I did. I looked at what you did and it's fine with me. If I could turn it into one paragraph, Sandy, I'd be happy. Everybody argued, nobody liked anything. Amen, we're done.
Okay, so someone would like to make a motion to approve the minutes as modified for August 18th, 2021.
Motion to approve.
I second, Kwame.
I wasn't available, but I did review it. Yes.
So you will be submitting a letter.
I think I signed
form.
something. I
Okay.
did sign something, Dave, with David.
Yes, he
Okay.
did. He did get that in for me on that meeting.
Okay, Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yeah.
Carol, Sandy,
Yes.
600. I'm so proud of all the minutes we did, folks. Well done. Now we have minutes of September 15th, other than Carol's name, her spelling.
I have a question on the September 15th
I
meeting.
noticed you asked us to make sure we do
Yeah.
that.
I didn't realize
Other
that.
than you,
was done tonight. Yes. When I went to look up the agenda for the September 15th meeting, it says the meeting was canceled.
No, the
There
9/1,
is no agenda.
the
No.
first 9/1, the
that was September 1.
September
No.
1 was canceled.
When I looked at 9:15, it said the meeting was canceled and there was no agenda attached to it. And I looked it up yesterday. So I don't know if somebody changed things. It's like, where did the agenda go? Because there would have been an agenda even if the meeting was canceled. It's like, how can we have minutes for 9:15 if I can't find the agenda for it?
Yeah, I don't have access to my work server, so I can't really look.
Okay, I don't know what, you're not gonna be able to see this, but bear with me for a second. It just says that the next meeting will be September 15th, that the September 1 was canceled, the next meeting would be the 15th.
Okay, so they've changed it because that's not what it said on the website.
Well, okay,
yesterday.
I don't know what it says.
The-
This is based on my notes. I have not checked the website to see if they changed the agenda.
And the reason I looked was because in paperwork that we have with regards to BERE, it said we had done something on September 15th. So I wanted to look it up and see that and see the meeting. And then I see that it says the meeting was canceled. It's like, and why did we have one on the 22nd if we'd had one on the 15th? So it was like, I don't know if somebody was
We'll have to go through the-
reorganizing, if they had maybe something in the wrong place and they moved it somewhere else and it's just a technical glitch. I happened to go in at the wrong time or what, but
The
That-
meeting on September, sorry, Carol, the meeting on September 22nd was unique because it was only the discussion of the
It's a
motion
clarification.
and discussion for the BERE. It was no full agenda. It only had one topic.
okay.
That was the meeting where we wanted to clarify the denial.
That's right. That's all that meeting was for, is for
Yes, because it said
clarifying
that
the
we had
word.
denied it on the 15th and I was there for that. And
Yeah,
that was.
we denied it on the 15th, but we had a special meeting to clarify what the denial was for so that we could have a firm ground in the
Right.
case of an appeal.
Right. Yeah, I just didn't remember that it was only a week.
All
late.
right. Is there anything else on the September 15th? September 15th. I think the only thing was Carol's spelling of her name. I will make that. And on the last page, you have Baptiste as opposed to Kwame. Kwame's last name.
Party. I thought I caught them all.
Oh,
Oh, there
boy.
he is. I see it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so I'll take a motion for approving the minutes of 9:15:21.
Motion to
To
approve.
permits.
All in favor, Kwame,
Yes.
Ron, Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Sandy.
Yes.
Then the next minutes we have are Carol spelling, I'll take care of that before I sign it. All in, any discussion? Someone want to make a motion to approve?
I
Motion to
move
approve
we
the
approve
minutes.
the minutes for 9:22.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame?
Yes.
Ron, Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol, Sandy.
Yes.
Now, I have absolutely no idea what happened to my minutes of January 19th, 22. All of a sudden, it started editing on me, red and cross outs, and I just couldn't find a way around it. So I was able to bring it down to only have red lines. So if somebody knows words, maybe they can give me a hint how to get rid of that editing feature that I don't want. But other than that, any comments on this set of minutes?
No, I read through them today. They seem
God,
fine.
this takes so long to do these.
What was the date on those?
January 19th, 2022.
2022. I moved to accept the minutes from January 19th, 2022.
Second,
All in favor, Kwame, Ron,
Yes.
Michael, Denise,
Yes.
Carol, Sandy. Yes, 600. And I will be in to sign these so that Dave can give them over to the clerk. All right. And Nicole, I am so pleased to see you.
Hi,
You hung
Nicole.
in there.
Hi, I was a little bit late. I didn't realize what time it was, and I was like, "Oh crap, they already started." Trying to get my daughter to bed, but she prolongs everything when it's bedtime.
As
Before
do-
we met Nicole last meeting and we said that we would like to speak with her this meeting and ask any questions we might have so that we could recommend her to the selectman as an associate. So before we start talking minutes and everything else is what we're going to do with the emails we've been receiving regarding various projects, I'd like to spend some time with Nicole. Can you talk to us about you? I know you're in Wareham.
I am. I live right off of Great Neck Road. We bought our house about 5 years ago, and we love it here. What else do you want to know?
she's an excellent mom.
Why, thank you.
Creative baker. You should see the cakes this girl can make.
It's been a
Whoa.
long time since I've done that. I used to do custom cakes.
And now you're doing real estate, correct?
Yes, I am in real estate now. I got laid off
Interesting.
during COVID and switched into real estate.
You must be very busy if you can find any homes on the market.
That is the most difficult part. It's very
Plenty of
challenging.
buyers, no sellers.
Plenty of buyers, yeah, but it's terrifying for them I don't blame them. It's not easy.
It's the
No.
seller's market.
Yeah, it certainly
Okay.
is.
Plenty
It's
of
a
money.
corporate buyer's market.
Yeah. What
As
made you
part
get
of-
interested in the conservation? Why us?
Because it seemed like it would be something that I would be most interested in. I wanted to get more involved with the town because we've lived here for 5 years now and I don't know as much about Wareham as I'd like to, and I don't plan on leaving. So I figured if I'm going to be a resident here, I should learn about the town and know what's going on. And I do, in high school, I took environmental technology, so I've always had an interest in that sort of stuff. I never really did anything with it, but it's something that I have interest in. So I figured this would be a good place to start just to learn.
And this will get
Jump
in,
right in.
looking at the various sites around town, you'll probably see parts of Wareham you never knew existed as you review everything that's coming before us. Because I
I
keep.
have
5 years in
already.
town, is that true?
Yeah,
Wait, there's
All right.
more. I've been
I've
here
seen a
almost-
lot of places
I've
that
been-
I'm like,
my
where is
family's been in this. My family's been in this town almost 30 years. I still discover sites. So just wait.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
amazing
Ron-
how much there is that I didn't know was
Yes.
here.
Kwame, questions for Nicole?
Will you be
Comments.
interested in taking our notes?
Doing
It's a
the
joke.
minute?
Don't admit to that.
I'll make you banana bread.
Make the banana bread. What?
Man,
Make her anything she wants.
That's cheap.
Nicole,
Banana bread tastes
Banana
better,
bread.
Kwame.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Yes, well, you're going to be next. Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna be, okay, sorry, I won't jump the line.
You're
Oh,
next.
I'm next in line, so I guess I get to go. Um,
Yeah.
so I was sitting where you are, almost 2 years ago now. It's been a long time, too long, no. So what type of an asset do you think that you would be to this commission? We deal with a lot of different things. We take some beating sometime. But what kind of an asset do you think you would be to this commission, and to the people of the community that are presenting projects with us?
I think that I have the same goal as most of you, that my interest in the town is to preserve it and not let it turn into something that we don't want to live in. I think I am good when it comes to coming up with ideas or how to solve issues that there's a lot of moving parts to. I've always enjoyed that sort of stuff, and I think that I'm fairly good at that. And I think that's all I have right now.
Last question.
Michael,
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Last question. How thick is your skin?
It's gotten very thick over the years. It didn't always, it wasn't always like that, but I've gotten used to taking a beating, I guess. I've just been out there in the world in a lot of different areas and dealt with a lot of things, and I've learned life's too short to let things get to you too much. So I think I can handle it.
Okay.
Ron, anything else?
No, I'm done for today.
But yeah, stop abusing the poor girl.
Michael, any questions?
No, thank you.
Denise?
Sorry, my oven's beeping. I have to shut it off.
Oh, we didn't scare her away now, did we? There's my question, there, Sandy.
I asked how thick her skin was when she went to go to the oven.
Okay, well, she came back. What do you know?
I was making a pizza. I had to shut the oven off.
Oh, I love homemade pizzas. Go ahead.
Okay, Denise.
You have one daughter? Is that?
I have two kids. I have
Okay.
a son that's 15 and he goes to Upper Cape. And then I have a daughter that is 6 and she goes to the new school, New
Oh,
Elementary.
really?
She like it?
She loves it. She said it's way better than the other school, but when she was at Deacon's, she told me every day how much she loved it. So I think it's just that this one's new and fancy.
I would tell you how many kids I have, but you'd fall off your seat.
He's a lot like my other son. He's not Scuba. He's a lot like Chris.
I was going to say, Scuba doesn't have any kids.
No.
Is that Alan in the background trying to run away?
Yes, yes.
I think he was waving.
Oh, was
Well,
it
no, he
waving?
was putting up 5 to indicate how many children somebody has.
So he
Thank
was
you,
waving.
Alan. I appreciate it. I'll be bringing them to I'll be bringing them to every one of my meetings coming up in a couple months. How's that?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Denise, anything else?
I just wanted to make sure that she knew that we can disagree with one another and that she needs to be able to voice her opinion, not to be afraid.
Okay.
Good point. Carol?
I think she's going to really enjoy the opportunity that's available for all the different classes. I think, that's something she's going to utilize, and it's like, take one class and you learn a lot. So I think that's a good thing because she does like to learn. When she gets into something, she kind of digs in good, and that's a good thing.
So Nicole, what she's referring to is twice a year, the Organization for Conservation Commissions holds classes in which you can do online learning for various components of you might be interested in. But I noticed you were a pest control technician. You kill a lot of bugs.
I did. I did. It was one of those things where I really got into it because it paid well and I wasn't creeped out. And I figured that would be something that I do temporarily till I found something else. And I actually ended up kind of enjoying it. I mean, not always. There's some gross things.
could we pick your brain when it comes time to say, what do we do about this caterpillar? And what do we do about the longhorn beetles and all those little things that are coming our way? Like the jumping, what's the new one? Jumping earthworms?
What?
Depends. If it's a structural pest, I might be able to help you out.
Okay.
But if it's not, then
All right, so no
Okay.
jumping worms for.
Okay, Dave, your turn. You've been
Yeah, I
trying.
just wanted to quickly ask, in terms of your real estate dealings, have you run into circumstances where you've had sites or clients that had wetland problems or issues with their properties? Have you run into anything like that in terms of some of the real estate issues you've been working on?
I have not, to be honest, but I am very new in real estate. I haven't been in it even a year yet. So
Okay.
that another reason for wanting to learn more about the town is being able to understand the rules of different areas and sections of town and what you can and can't do. I think that's something that would also serve me in my business to be able to represent my clients the best I possibly can. If I know more, then I'm more valuable. I see it that
Because
way.
Yeah,
we
no.
have come across more than once in which a realtor did not pass the correct information on to their client and they did something illegally and paid dearly for having to undo something they did in the wetland because, boom, she didn't tell me that I was restricted anyway, but is there any other questions? If not, would someone make a motion? We recommend her to the selectmen as an alternate to conservation?
I move that we recommend Nicole Curtis to the Board of Selectmen as an alternate member of the Conservation Commission.
Second.
I
Second,
have a motion and a second. All in favor, Kwame,
yes.
Ron, Michael,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes,
Carol, Sandy, 600. It will be recommended to the selectmen. I don't know at what time you'll be placed on their agenda for ratification of this recommendation. But as a member, as an associate member, you may take part in all our discussions, but you will be unable to vote as an associate. But you'll be able to be asked questions like everybody else.
Okay,
Thank you for your time and your consideration for us, and I will move our recommendation on to the selectmen.
And I
Be
recommend
prepared,
I appreciate
be prepared. You might have to be called into the selectmen's meeting to answer their questions.
okay.
But they will invite you, they'll let you know when they put you on the agenda. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I have a pile of stuff here and I don't know quite which order to take it in, so let me take it in. Okay, we have had a notice from Bill Clemmy regarding his unauthorized dock expansion. Did you all get that notice that he was going to pull the pylons?
Yes.
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 Okay. So finally got a clearing on that. Now, the next thing we have is we have a request from Nora Bickey for public records request form for a copy of our enforcement order of June 2nd, 2021 for the Dan Clemmy Dock House LLC, 28 Winship. Did you all get a copy of that request?
yes.
Okay, and Mr. Bichette, you'll be able to take care of that tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to get down through my notes. You all saw the note from Mr. Bowen regarding our, I can't say much here because this is confidential, but you all got the note from Mr. Bowen regarding the BERE?
Yes.
Okay, no other further comment on that. It is confidential work product, no discussion of it. We do have a public record request. God, why do we keep from Scott Christofoli? Our answers, our response is due, I believe, March 8th. You got a copy of that, everybody?
Yes,
So
No.
let me, because I think one of the requests are for the minutes for that meeting.
Yes.
Do we not, based on the time that we have to respond to that, the minutes could not be ready at that point based on the
That-
time the meeting
And
happened.
that will be responses that I'm going to ask for 30 days in order to respond to the minutes of February 16th, 2022.
Just, because it's just the
Yeah.
timing of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
based
is
on
correct.
based on the time of the request was really well prior to what we have in terms of time to get minutes done. So we kind of requested it like the week after we had the meeting, so there's no way those meeting minutes were going to be done at that point. So,
Because isn't it, don't we, based on the Attorney General's, don't we have up to 3 meetings to have those minutes
yes,
be available?
yes.
So 6 weeks.
So it's my intention is to work on those minutes so that it's available for March 16th review.
Okay.
That is my intent, and I will write those minutes. The
Okay,
other one,
I have a
okay.
question there. If we have up to 3 minutes, which would be 6 weeks, before those minutes have to be done and put onto the town's website or available for a request, excuse me, and you push to get them done so he can have them in less than 30 days, is that going to set a precedent where other people are going to go, well, I want my minutes that fast too? Considering right now, we don't have anybody to do the minutes on a regular basis. We're scrambling to get caught up. If we.
Well, I think Sandy said she would do it, but if somebody else requested it, it's not an obligation for the commission to do it. Sandy just sort of offered it. But we technically, as Ron mentioned, have up to 3 meetings, so we wouldn't be on the hook to do it sooner than that.
I will try to have it for the 16th. The all documents the conservation reviewed concerning to me, that would be our notice of intent and their plans. Correct? I
Oh, well,
can't think of any other documentation, documents that came out of Christopherly other than the NOI.
What about comments from other agencies? Because those letters do get sent to us, so those would be.
Okay, so I will check my folder. So we have anything?
Yeah, we'll
Dave, will
have
you-
we'll have more than that, and we'll ultimately have to give them the copy of the order of conditions as well.
Okay, so you and I will work together to make sure that this is done. We respond to them, including any email and text messages regarding the permit application. To me, the only email was the NOI that was sent out to us. The
Yeah,
recorded,
I don't do text messaging on any of these things, so there's no text messaging.
the only
Well-
email was the NOI and plans. Recorded video. What do we do? Download that to a CD? Or tell them where to find it?
Tell them where to find it because it is on WCTV.
Okay, any text or email messages between the Conservation Commission board members during the meeting? I know of none.
We're not allowed to do that, are we?
No, we're not. We're not supposed to be on our phones or anything. It's not supposed to be communication between us during the meetings. Okay, is there anything else in here?
What is this thing that you sent us?
Late today?
Let's see.
Okay,
I
at
can't
the
see that.
meeting it's the violations.
Isn't that violations that,
It's the
Yeah,
enforcement
Concom
order.
enforcement orders, it says.
Now, what happened is that on the 9th, when I was doing the minutes of the 19th, I realized I committed to Denise that I was putting a list together of all the enforcement orders. So that's what you have here, going back to 2016, when I realized I had been doing this right along. And I just thought I kept going through minutes and wrote them down. It has to be cleaned up. I just wanted you to be aware that I am trying to track all of the enforcement orders that we've had so we can know and work toward what has been done, what hasn't been done, and that type of thing. So that's all this was a hint of what we have been using as enforcement orders. I'm asking you to do nothing with it, just that be aware that I'm tracking them. Okay?
Okay, I kind of panicked. I thought, oh my God, do we have to do minutes for all of this?
No, but another document I sent out called History Projects Denied. It's a little one pager. It has each one of the projects we recently denied and the minutes that were associated with that particular project.
Right.
I just FYI, if it comes up, these are the minutes, the meetings we had going toward the denial component, okay? On talking about that, Kwame and Ron, you were supposed to do some minutes. Kwame for
Yeah.
February 2nd and Ron for November 3rd. How are they coming?
They are right where they are.
Okay,
No,
that
I will,
that answers.
I will work on that. I've just been super inundated with a lot of stuff with work, and I might have some time this weekend to get it done. So I'll try to get it for our next
Very
meeting.
good. The other document I sent out is based on the letter we got from the Office of Attorney General, February 28th, 22, open meeting law complaint. We have 65 days to provide we have 60 days to provide Nora Bickey with minutes, all the minutes from 2020 and 2021. Is that how I read it, Mr. Bichette?
Yes, and many of those minutes are completed already, but obviously not all of them.
Well, we just completed 5 of them.
Right.
And we have holes all through it. So the document I gave you talks about the minutes. Whenever there was an agenda, there should be a set of minutes attached to it. So what that document did for 2020, 2021, and 2022 listed all our agendas and the status of the minutes. I will be giving this to Mr. Sullivan, filling in the ones we did tonight, so he sees how many minutes we've got outstanding, because he did indicate that he could find us some roving help to do this. So
There's like 27 or 24 sets of minutes that are missing.
I didn't count them. I didn't want to count
I
them.
did. I almost cried because you said something about each of us doing one every couple of weeks to get them.
Well,
done.
we should, I mean, that has to
Town
happen.
administrator, beg him
But-
if you have to.
But he just sent an email that he's double booked tomorrow because FinCom changed their time frame for reviewing the 23 budget, FY23 budget. So he's tied up all day tomorrow. So he asked Denise and I if there was a better time next week to meet with him and we can discuss our minutes at that time. Right, Denise?
I did not see the email, but I will not be in Massachusetts next week. I'll be in Florida.
Okay, I will tell him that, but I will be sending him a note saying he promised a floater. Look what we have to do, Derek. What can you do to help? That will be my plea.
He did
That
say
will be my plea.
Please.
he would try to get, no, he said he would try to get us use of the
Yeah.
floater.
So at this particular time, do you want to try to assign some minutes to each one of us for the 16th? I'm not here, folks, come on.
We gotta do what we
Anybody
gotta do. I mean, I don't like doing them. I really hate it, but they've got to get done. We need them to be done and in the record.
Okay, let's start with January 15th, 2020. Any taker?
I'll take it. January 15th, 2020.
Yes. March 4th, 2020.
You want
Fine,
these
I'll
for
take
the,
it.
you want these for the 16th?
Yes,
Okay.
2 weeks to do it. So Denise, I know you're not going to be around.
But I'll take the 16th. Because I'm gonna have to listen to the meeting anyway if I'm not zooming in.
Don't listen to it on vacation.
Okay.
Michael, which ones are you taking?
The second one you
Michael's
said,
Michael is going to do March 4th.
I thought you said March 4th.
We know that
2020 or 2021?
2020.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
We know that Kwame and Ron already have minutes assigned to them to be worked on, so I'm not going to give them new ones. And I will be doing which one did I say I am for Christopherly? I'm going to do 216. Okay,
February 16th. 14th of 2022. 2022, Sandy. Oh, so if I, didn't do my minutes, I'd be able to get out of doing another set right away? Oh.
Yes.
Hey, whoa,
then
whoa, whoa,
I'll-
whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa. That is a low blow.
Yeah.
You
Carol.
deserve that, Ron.
Very
You
low.
deserve that, Ron.
All right. Now,
Wow.
Ask a question.
do you want to
Wow.
continue? Sorry. Do you want a solar bylaw update?
Yes.
You're not
So-
going to make Springtown meeting. Are you going to do something for
No.
special spring?
So, yeah, we have a draft warrant article that we are currently going through. I wasn't able to attend the meeting today because I got stuck in a work meeting, so I couldn't get out of it. But there is a draft article that is circulating amongst us to go through. So we're going to continue working on that until we think it is ready. But the idea is the special Springtown meeting to get this before the town to be voted on and hopefully approved and sent up to the Attorney General's office. So
Is
that's-
there another?
Okay.
Springtown?
Sorry. Michael, this is a citizen's article, correct?
I can't see it.
No, there's nothing to see.
Oh,
Ron, it's a
gotcha.
citizen's article, right?
yes,
Oh,
If it's a citizen's article for special town meeting, you need 100 signatures.
that won't be difficult.
Okay.
Do you know
Is
who
that
I
what you
am?
want me, wait a minute, is that what you wanted me to say, Alan?
No, there is for a regular town meeting.
It's too late for regular town meeting, we're closed.
There's
Oh.
a regular town meeting, there's an article to remove the solar bylaws that exist.
Alan's talking to me in my other ear. There is a pending article for Springtown meeting to remove. Have Nancy take a look at the pending articles that have already been submitted for Springtown meeting. There's one associated with solar bylaw. Just a heads up. Okay, Ron?
Absolutely. I will. I'll send her an email.
Okay, I have continued. Do we want to continue to talk about continuance, or can we say we're good enough for tonight?
I think
Yes, we're good enough for
tonight.
tonight.
It's 8:30, folks, and the first time we've been out of here before 10 in a long time.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to put continuances on the agenda. Is there anything else?
There's a very, very, very important election coming up in May. I'm just going to throw that out there, and yours truly is running for a very important
Can't do
position in
that.
town. So, oh, that's right. I can't talk about
That
that.
dog.
No, you can't.
Sorry.
No promoting. Okay, so can
Offline,
someone make a
we'll talk.
motion to adjourn at 6?
Motion to adjourn.
Wrestling to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn at
Well,
8:30.
fucking
I had a second, and everybody say aye.
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 Aye, thank you.
Night.
Thank you, Nicole.
Hi, thank you.
Yep. Take